I think we good today. I think it's just my internet provider. Spectrum. I ain't blocked here. All right. So, yeah, everybody been having problems. My mom got the same carry because she lives close. And she said hers been acting up the last couple of days. But I haven't been experiencing anything till yesterday's live video. So, okay. We about to get it popping. Let me grab my book. Plus, I don't have the whole house up already, jumping on their devices and stuff. All right, beautiful people. Look, did y'all see that the Audible version? Well, not Audible, but an audio version of the Essenes Gospel of Peace? Because yesterday, as I was reading through it, like I've been reading through it for like the last couple weeks or whatever. But I was like, man, because sometimes I be wanting to get to it, but I can't like sit down and read it. So I was like, man, I wish there was an Audible. So I started Googling and looking around, and I came across it. When I was looking for it the first time, I couldn't find it. But then I found one, and it's a clear reading. I was like, oh, snap. So as soon as I found it and I listened to it a little bit, I shared it with everybody. So enjoy it if y'all don't have one. All right, Vinay, greetings. Global Purpose, Grand Rising. Mom, shalom, shalom. Set apart, Grand Rising. Tabitha, greetings. And everybody else hanging out in the background. Shalom, happy Monday. All right, y'all. It's time for me to get in the book. Let me tell y'all something. The Essenes Gospel of Peace, most of y'all done probably already read through it already, clearly. I'm just coming upon the book. Uncle JB. Shalom, shalom, Hannah, Grand Rising. Listen, it goes into, like, some of the parables that you see in the New Testament, it gives, like, the full parable. Like, I thought that was, like, full in of itself, some of it anyway. But reading through there, you can see how, like, if what is there, right, was complete with what was found in the Essenes Gospel of Peace, them parables make way more sense, and even some of them we still would have some questions when it starts talking about like Mother Earth and everything, right? And how she's our mother, how she restores the body and stuff like that. We wouldn't be having half the issues that we have in the church house, especially with people being overweight and cooking chicken and selling it out the back room of the church. It wouldn't be none of that foolishness, right? And it tells you what I'm amazed at, right, is that it goes into a lot of deep detail on fasting and how it heals the body. Prince, shalom, nephew. Shebrew, hey girl, hey, all praises to the Creator. I'm slowly falling in love with that book. All right, Auntie Belinda Brown, hey girl, hey. So look, get a copy of it. When we done, I said a few days ago that when we get done with this, we definitely gonna add it in, and we're gonna read through all 4 volumes. It's about the same size as this, right? So we'll be done with this in about a month or so, and then we're gonna add that right in, and it might actually line up to when we actually get to the portion about Joshua, right? So I think that's gonna be good. But anywho, happy Monday, everybody. It is November the 7th, 2022, day 257 of year 4 of reading through the books of the Law and the Prophets under the 4-year consecutive day count, day 1276. We picking back up in Book of Jehovah. We're reading the last chapter, which is chapter 8, and we start that on page 12, and we're going to go right into the Book of Sethantes. And then after we get done with that, we're going to hop back over to the field guide to the spirit world and pick back up. And we're going to also finish that chapter Spirit in flight. Flight of the soul. Flight of the soul. We're going to pick that back up on page. I put the wrong page number down. Page 55. Yeah, I put 12. Page 55. All right. So I'm going to use something that I learned from Essenes Gospel of Peace when it's talking about the angels, like the angels of the air, the angels of the water, not angels, the angel of the air, the angel of the water, and the angel of the sun, and how they work with us, especially while we're fasting to heal and restore our body. That was good. So, Father, thank you for the angel of air that washes away all foul-smelling things, that they may become a sweet-smelling scent unto you, right? Because it said, if the angel of the air, matter of fact, all three of them, if you don't meet any of them on your journey, you don't get access to the Father, right? It's like a little dirty baby being home all day with mama. You know, they clean them babies up for daddy to get home. Get away from me, you little stinky butt child, right? Yeah, the way when I was listening to that, and some of the little pictures that flashed through my mind while going through that portion, I was like, oh snap. Well, that would make sense, right? It's really good. If y'all haven't read it, you absolutely have to read it. But we're going to read it together, right? Okay. In about a month or so, we can go through the whole thing. All right, y'all, so let's get started. Go to page 12 in Oahspe. All right, y'all, Book of Jehovah. Yeah, angel communication. It is so good. It's so good. All right, chapter 8. Jehovah said, and God shall cause a record to be kept in heaven of his dominions and his lords, and he and they shall enjoin it upon their successors forever, to keep like a record. And in the times of my harvest, a copy of these records shall be taken up to my Etherian kingdoms and filed with my Orion chiefs and archangels in the roadway of the travel of the great serpent for their deliberations as to the progress and the management of the inhabitants of the earth and her heavens. And so remember, we was talking about yesterday how your Ashars and Asaphs, your Ashars record, or your guardian angels, they record everything about your life, right? And when you pass your flesh back to Mother Earth, to the dirt, right, your spirit, along with the record that was kept of your entire life and all that you did, is handed over to the Ashar, and they take it from there. And when you get to them, they were like, okay, let's look and see what you did. Let's look and see what you did in grade school. Oh, shoot. Oh, you got it right. Okay, all right. So you learn how to do this. You learn how to Sargis? Oh, snap. And whatever you did, all your accumulated grades and stuff will determine your next place and where you go, right? And hopefully you get on that bus to the second heaven and not go to remedial. Back on the first heaven earth. Oh, man, you were still eating fried chicken. You know you can't rise because your spirit has to be light, right? Because you can't rise higher. Yeah, no, see, that we only allowed it here down in the first heaven. So you can't go to the second heaven yet. We got to work that out. So you get in that line over there. You got to stay here. Oh, my gosh, may that not be y'all, right? You need the angel of the air, the angel of the water, and the angel of the sun to help you cleanse out your person and your spirit, right? But okay, so after great serpent, and in the times of my harvest, a copy of these records shall be taken up to my Etherian kingdoms and filed with my Orion chiefs and archangels in the roadway of the travel of the great serpent for their deliberations as to the progress and management of the inhabitants of the earth and her heavens. After great serpent is reference letter H. Jump over to page 13, and H says, the words great serpent means solar phalanx or solar system, right? And we see like a big fold out of the Savoricum, the solar system, all that good stuff. Solar system, not like what they show us the solar system is. We get like a little miniature microcosm piece of the big Savoricum, right? That's all they show us. They literally show us like a pin dot of the great serpent, right? Or the solar phalanx, or the the big solar system. Selah, shalom, brother. Okay, go back to page 12, y'all. I'll read verse. Matter of fact, let me just start over since I was on verse 2, and we just keep going. Jehovah said, and God shall cause a record to be kept in heaven of his dominions and his lords, and he shall enjoin it upon their successors forever to keep like a record. And in the times of my harvest, a copy of these records shall be taken up to my Ethereal kingdoms and filed with my Orion chiefs and archangels in the roadway of the travel of the great serpent for their deliberations as to the progress and management of inhabitants of the earth and her heavens. Think not, O ye angels, that the resurrection of your heirs and their descendants that come up out of the earth is an easy matter and of steady progress, devoid of mishaps and woeful darkness, right? You ain't gonna have all good students. They gonna give you a run for your money, and they gonna really make you think. Some of them gonna make you think that you shouldn't be in a position that you're currently in. But don't fret. You just gotta show some patience with those, right? They may be rebels for most of their life. Matter of fact, they might be rebels to the time they get to the time that they're born into the S world, the spirit world. You're gonna have to deal with them there. They might even give you more trouble over here than they did over there. But just be patient. Everybody has their own path to follow. Listen. Think not, O ye angels, that the resurrection of your heirs and their descendants that come up out of the earth is an easy matter and of steady progress, devoid of mishaps and woeful darkness. The angels under you shall become at times rebellious and defiant, disregarding your laws and decrees, and they shall desert your heavenly places and go down to the earth in millions and hundreds of millions. And they shall drive away the Ashar. You done drove away your Ashar. How bad is you? I know that's bad English, but I said it on purpose. Oh my, you done drove away your guardian angels. Look, the angels under you shall become at times rebellious and defiant, disregarding your laws and decrees, and they shall desert your heavenly places and go down to the earth in millions and hundreds of millions. And they shall drive away the Ashars and then assume guardianship over mortals. But they shall develop no righteousness under the sun, but they will inspire mortals to war and destruction. And these angels themselves will take to war and evil on every hand within the place of your heavens. With the foul gases of atmosphere, they shall make weapons of war and places of torment. With these elements shall they make suffocating hells in order to cast one another in chaos. And mortals who shall be slain in war shall be born in spirit in chaos on the battlefields. In chaos shall such spirits enter the S world, and they shall not know that they are dead as to earth life, but shall still keep fighting right and left. An enemy shall take enemy in these heavens and cast them into the places of torment which they shall have built, and they shall not know peace nor wisdom. And the work of your heavens shall become as nothing, and ye shall turn to, going about delivering hells and the spirits in chaos. And your labor shall be exhaustive. Verily shall you cry out, because ye came and peopled the earth. This also have I created possible unto my creations, for both angels and mortals shall learn to know the elements of the heavens and the earth, and to know the trials of love and misfortune. Nor have I made wisdom possible unto any man or angel that knoweth not my elements, and the extremes of evil and good which I created. But in the times of great darkness, which shall come upon the earth, and these heavens, lo, I will bring the earth into Danha, and my Ethereans shall come in my name. In whose name? The Creator's name. And my Ethereans shall come in my name and deliver them. And again, for another cycle, shall they be left with the lessons given unto them, but they shall fall again in course of time. But again will I deliver them through my gods and goddesses. Will I cause them to comprehend the magnitude of my creation? And after creation is reference number 13. The 13 at the bottom says my creations with an S at the end of creation. Verse 13, as ye travel from heaven to heaven in atmospherian ships, and after atmospherian ships is reference number 14. 14 at the bottom says, from heaven to heaven in this atmosphere. I'll just read the whole verse again. As ye travel from heaven to heaven in atmospherian ships, even so shall ye inspire mortals to build corporal ships and sail across the oceans, that the inhabitants of different divisions of the earth may become known to one another. That the inhabitants of the earth may become known to one another. Meaning there was not just one set of people here, because eventually they're going to build ships and they're going to meet people that's placed in other places, right? Just think about it. Remember, Cain found other people when he got kicked out. Where did they come from if everybody came from them? I'm just saying, just think about it. You ain't got to agree. Just think about it. Verse 13, page 12. As ye travel from heaven to heaven in atmospherian ships, even so shall ye inspire mortals to build corporal ships and sail across the oceans, that the inhabitants of different divisions of the earth may become known to one another. And when the inhabitants of the earth shall be completed, and the nations shall have established civil communion around from east to west, in that same time will I bring the earth into the cosmon era, and my angel ambassadors, gods and goddesses, shall render up the records of these heavenly kingdoms. Through them will I reveal unto mortals the creation of my worlds, and the history and dominion of my gods and lords on the earth, even from this day down to the time of Cosmon. And Jehovah caused the angels of atmosphere to assemble together and organize the first kingdom of the heaven of the earth. And the place was called Horeb, because it was the place of the first organic abiding place for the first God of this world. And Horeb was situated over and above the mountains of Aotan and Ugoqui, and to the eastward of Ui, or Ul, of Ul, of that country hereinafter called the continent of Pan. Thus ended the inorganic habitation of the earth and her atmosphere. And that, my beautiful people, is the end of the book of Jehovah. We're only at 18 minutes, so let's go ahead and get into the next book, book of Sethantes, son of Jehovah, first God of the first cycle of the earth after man's creation. Nazarene is saying, Shalom, Shalom. Chapter 1. In the beginning of the inhabitation of the earth, the angels of heaven assembled in Horeb, a heavenly plateau resting on the earth. And the archangel Sethantes was the wisest of them all. And he said unto them, Behold, we have come from far off heavens. By the voice of Jehovah came we to partake of the glory of the red star, the earth. Jehovah said unto us, Come ye and enjoy the new world I have created. Partake ye all the fruits thereof, save the tree of knowledge, which is the fountain of life. Partake ye not of this, lest ye die. Right? And so we know what that fruit is, right? It gave us a glimpse of that in the book of Jehovah, is of the sexual nature. These are the sons of God who came down to the earth, the red star, right? So listen, don't mess around with them down there. Otherwise, you're going to die. But did they listen? No, they ain't listen. They went down and they had sexual relations with men who at that time, without the ability to be able to rise. I mean, had the ability to rise, but they was just completely earth, right? But when the sons of God came down, they were supposed to have been helping them develop. They decided to have intercourse with them. And now we got a hybrid being, which we are. And now we're not just earth, but we're earth and we're spirit, right? Ye shall surely die. Now you done locked yourself down there with them and you help develop your offspring. Now you're going to have to teach them about heavenly things as well, right? Because they're going to now be able to inherit my ethereal kingdoms, right? But the Creator he didn't stop them. He didn't stop them. He said, even though you didn't listen, you accomplished a couple things for me. So I let it be, right? Listen. He said, and this is funny, because my son came down here, and I don't think he wasn't here at the beginning of I'm talking about Jeremiah, my 19-year-old. He wasn't down here when we first began going through this, so he didn't hear this part, so, but he's just like this deep thinker anyway. And I told y'all he can just go meditate and get stuff by osmosis and have all these questions and things. And so he started talking about this. He said, I'm of the mindset, mother. I'm like, listen, don't come down here talking all proper to me. He said, I'm of the mindset that we're hybrid beings. I said, what do you mean by hybrid beings? He said, I don't think like how we're born now. He said, I don't think we had like the intelligence like we do now, where we can like meditate and we can like go out our body. He said, something had to have happened to original man. And when he said, I said, what you been reading? He said, I ain't reading nothing. I just been sitting upstairs meditating. I was like, did you start reading your Oahspe yet? He said, no. He said, because why do I got to sit and read that big book? He said, and I can just go meditate. Like literally, he'll just go meditate, right? And I ain't stopping him, because some of the stuff he come back and ask, and I'm like, how did you get that, right? And I was like, wait a minute. I said, literally, we just started, or we started Oahspe. I said, but we was kind of literally talking about that a little bit yesterday. And so I gave him Susan B. Martinez's book, which we're gonna read. He took it upstairs. The hybrid origins of man. Like he didn't even, because he don't even be on my bookcase for real, right? So he didn't even know that book existed. So while he was still talking, I was like, I got something for you. I said, if Oahspe a little too thick for you right now, I got something for you specifically about what you're talking about. I said, it's called The Hybrid Origins of Man. I went and got it. He was like, oh my gosh. He said, I didn't even know this book existed. I said, go read it. I said, what's good about this? She's thoroughly studied Oahspe and her testing, all this stuff. I said, go read it. I think you're really going to enjoy it. I just kind of skimmed through it a little bit, right? But I gave it to him to go add to his learning, right? So I told him, I said, don't just be pulling things by osmosis from the spirit. I said, that's good. I said, but educate your flesh as well, right? Let it be a simultaneous balance growth. So you kind of sharp. You almost sharp. I said, but you're going to be sharp if you develop them simultaneously. I said, well, you about to start college tomorrow. I said, you got to learn how to do this, right? I said, you'll flow through if you take what you're doing now, I said, and actually apply that simultaneously to actually studying the books and stuff and being able to decipher between truth and error and separating information. I said, boy, you can graduate your class summa cum laude. He said, I couldn't I? I said, boy, get out of here. Listen, but yeah, I thought, I don't know, these new generation of kids, like, cause we're developing, and we should be able to do that, right? Cause there's gonna come a point in time, well, we ain't even gonna really be needing these books. Matter of fact, that's something, and it blew my mind when I was reading over it yesterday. That's something that the Essenes Gospel of Peace alludes to. That everything, like it said, the scriptures, he said, that's a work of man. Everything that the Father wants you to know, he has already written inside of your spirit, right? And I'm just like, that is amazing. So, but I'd be so glad when we get to that and start reading some of that. Like I said, if y'all haven't, y'all definitely just go get it. I found the Audible. Listen to it. It's on YouTube. It's a good, clear thing too. All right, animalistic nature, shalom, shalom. Stephen, shalom. Elijah, shalom, brothers. Okay, let me get back to this. What we got? 24 minutes? Okay, y'all. We're on page 14, Book of Sethantes. And we paused at at the end of verse 10, I believe. Yeah, I'm going to read 10 again. Hold on. Nope. Yeah, let me read 9 again. I'm going to go to 9. Meanwhile, I had the angels of Horeb numbered, and there were of them 20. Hold on, did I go back? Smoking. The great light. Hold on. I didn't. Hold on, I went too far. Man obeyed. Oh, that was it. Let me go back up. Let me go to verse 3. I'm sorry. I jumped way too far. Okay. Verse 3. Behold, we have come from the far off heavens by the voice of Jehovah. Came we to partake of the glory of the red star, the earth. Jehovah said unto us, Come ye and enjoy the new world I have created. Partake ye of the fruits thereof, save the tree of knowledge, which is the fountain of life. Partake ye not of this, lest ye die. And that's where we'll pause at the end of verse 3. And we started talking about how the fruit of the tree of life is actually of a sexual nature. The tree of knowledge, yeah. Verse 4. But the voice of the earth spake unto us, saying, Partake ye, for indeed mine is the tree of everlasting life. And man obeyed not the voice of the Father, and are now bound by the tie of life, which is in the blood, right? The spirit is now bound to the flesh. And the voice of Jehovah came to me, saying, Sethantes, my son, behold, I gave into thy charge in my Ethereal heavens millions of angels, and thou hast brought them to the earth, and they are fallen from their high estate. Go thou and deliver them. Let me go back. Let me read something really quick. Go back to the book of Jehovah, what the Father said, what the Creator said about what happened when these sons of God had sex with the daughters of the earth, right? Or with the fleshly, the corporeans, right? On page 11, verse 21. Let's go to 20. I'm going to read verse 20 and 21, right? Because this ties right into what we're reading right now. Just a quick recap, and then we'll jump back. Verse 20 and 21, page 11. The angels understood the commandments of Jehovah, right? He said, come on, go down to this new red star, the earth, right? The angels understood the commandments of Jehovah according to their knowledge in the Ethereal heavens, being heirs of other planets, and having died in infancy, and having matured in the worlds, but they understood not the Creator according to the practice of the lower heavenly kingdoms, wherefore their knowledge was incomplete. Jehovah said, I condemn ye not, because ye have become joint procreators with the Oahspe, or with Adam, like the first man. Well, it was multiple of them, remember. Jehovah said, I condemn ye not, because ye have become joint procreators with the Oahspe, for ye have done two services unto me, which are to teach yourself corporal things, that ye may understand and sympathize with corporeans. And secondly, because ye have caused the earth to become peopled with such as are capable of immorality, which we are the offspring of that. Now we're capable of immortality. Did I say immorality? Immortality. We're capable of immortality, meaning we never die now, right? Okay, so hop back. And I'll read 3 again. And we'll keep going. We're on page 14, book of Sethantes, son of Jehovah. Behold, we have come from far off heavens by the voice of Jehovah. Came we to partake of the glory of the red star, the earth. Jehovah said unto us, Come ye and enjoy the new world I have created. Partake ye of all the fruits thereof, save of the tree of knowledge, which is the fountain of life. Partake ye not of this, lest ye die. But the voice of the earth spake unto us, saying, Partake ye, for indeed mine is the tree of everlasting life. And many obeyed not the voice of the Father, and are now bound by the tie of life, which is in the blood. And the voice of Jehovah came to me, saying, Sethantes, my son, behold, I gave into thy charge my Ethereal heavens, millions of angels, and thou hast brought them to the earth, and they are fallen from their high estate. Go thou deliver them. Enoch talks about this all through his book. And I said, What shall I do? And Jehovah said, Bring thy angel host to Horeb, for there will I crown thee God of these heavens and earth for the redemption of angels and mortals. And it shall be a new heavenly kingdom from this time forth to the end of the world. For it is the time of the ark of Wan, and I will bring from Ethera my high-raised goddess Etizai, chief factor of Harmutz, and she shall crown thee in my name, God of heaven and earth. And just in case you didn't know, Oahspe doesn't just talk about men like the Bible does, right? The Bible is like It's biased, right? And it loves everything about the men, but completely washes away everything about the women. All you see over there in the Bible about the women is what James said to Florida Evans. Women belong in two places, Florida, in the kitchen and the bedroom. And the Bible loves that theme of life when it comes to women. Here, it shakes all that silliness free and lets the women know that you are not just an ornament. You're not just a tool of use for the men, all right? You're equal status here, right? You still have, I created you different, so you each have different glories about yourselves that can't discount or be higher than the other, because you both need to come together in order to get the power and create like me, all right? I'm just saying, I love this book, because I was one of the ones like, why you allow us to be treated like you're okay with this type of treatment? Because I'm serving you, okay, but just help me understand the way you're looking at this, because I don't like it. Listen, when I was like, forgive me for my disobedience or my rebelliousness of heart, because I'm a woman. Yeah, we made a bit into the apple and made Adam eat, all that indoctrination, right? But I always had an issue with it, right? Verse 7, and I said, what shall I do? And Jehovah said, bring thy angel host to Horeb, for there will I crown thee God of these heavens and earth, for the redemption of angels and mortals. And it shall be a new heavenly kingdom from this time forth to the end of the world. For it is the time of the ark of Wan. And I will bring from Ethera my high-raised goddess Etizii, chief factor of Harmutz, like she the HNIC, chief factor of Harmutz, and she shall crown thee in my name, God of heaven and earth. Like she's crowning you, God. Like because she's up here, she's going to crown you. We ain't going to get into it right now. God said, when I had thus spoken into Horeb before the angels of heaven, a great light, like a sun, was seen descending from the firmament above. And I commanded my Sinars to chant in praise of the Father and his works. Meanwhile, I had the angels of Horeb numbered, and there were of them 27,600,000, and these were the same who were on the excursion in my charge when the voice of Jehovah commanded us to visit the earth. And after 600 million thousand is reference number 1, and 1 at the bottom says 27,600,000. All subsequent similar changes are not footnoted. See editor's note number 1, and we already read through that. So if you forget it, just go back to it. It's saying the same thing. Verse 10. The light above us descended fast toward us like a ship of fire. It came nearer and nearer till we saw that it was wider far than the place of Horeb and all my angel hosts. Where we at? We at 33 minutes. I'm going to keep going to the end of this chapter, and then we'll hop into the field spirit guide, the field guide to the spirit world. Verse 10, page 14. The light above us descended fast toward us like a ship of fire. It came nearer and nearer till we saw that it was wider far than the place of Horeb and all my angel hosts. And it came to pass that when the great light had descended to the plateau of Horeb, there came forth out of the light 1,000,000 archangels from the ark of Wan and the host of Aji in the orbit of Phosang and Ethera, and they bore regalia and crowns from the Orion chief of Harmutz. Right? They're coming from other planets to the earth. The earth is the baby amongst all these worlds, right? And so the new ranking angels and those in command here are coming from other places where they've been raised up, like we're raised up, like we'll be native to the red star or the earth, right? They native to other places, but as we grow up and out, our command, we may get a little bit of rule and reign here, but as other worlds are being created, we'll get assigned to different planets. I know that sounds like a bunch of new age talk to somebody that might have just came in. We're gonna be assigned to other planets. What are y'all talking about here? Right? So just hang in for a little bit. Listen to what we're talking about. Listen. Verse 11. And it came to pass that when the great light had descended to the plateau of Horeb, there came forth out of the light 1,000,000 archangels from the ark of Wan and the host of Aji in the orbit of Phosang in Ethera, and they bore regalia and crowns from the Orion chief of Harmuz. Foremost of the archangels was Etizai and her brother Yatihaga, commissioners from the Etherian heaven. And we hear about archangels in the Bible, right? Clearly they're from somewhere else, right? We're familiar with some of these terms already, even if we have no clue what Oahspe talks about. When they came near me, Etizai gave the sign of Jehovah's name, greeting, halting, and saying, all hail in Jehovah's name, and in the love of Harmuz, Orion chief, we come to greet thee, first God of the lower heaven, belonging to the corporal earth. I said, all hail, O emissaries of Harmuz, chief of Orion worlds. Come, O Etizai, and thy brother and all this host, come, honor my throne in great Jehovah's name. The archangels came forward, saluting, and Etizai said, in thy name, O Jehovah, I found here a throne. And she caused to rise from the form and substance thereof, and she ascended thereon, and Yatiaga with her. And the other archangels formed a crescent in front of the throne, all of them bearing crowns or diadems, but they stood upright. And now the angels of the host of God took their places that they might witness the testimony of Jehovah's commission, but the lights from the columns of fire, brilliant in all colors and shades and tints, baffled many of them from seeing plainly. When all things were in readiness, Etizai, standing erect and brilliant like a star, raised her right hand, saying, Jehovah, all-wise and powerful, in thy name this thy son, God, I crown, from the Orion chief Harmuz, raised to the rank of God, and by thee, O Jehovah, ordained, henceforth to be known forever in the emancipated heavens as thy son. Peace, wisdom, love, and power. So we also find out that son is also interchangeable with God, right? There's something we get chopped and screwed in the Bible, right? It's a title. We keep going. And now with her left hand she raised high the crown, so that all might see and bear witness. I wish I had Josiah's crown down here. I would have raised it up. I'm gonna go keep it down here. So every time they commission somebody, I'll just raise up the crown. And now with her left hand she raised high the crown, so that all might see and bear witness, and giving the sign again of Jehovah's name above the crown, wherefrom a flame of light shot forth brilliantly. Thereupon she placed the crown on God's head, saying, Arise, O my son, thou son of Jehovah. Instantly there arose from the millions of souls one universal shout, All hail, O son of Jehovah. And God rose up, meaning Sethantes, not creator. Remember, God is a title, like the president. He's like the president of all the earth and all the three heavens above the earth. And that's where his reign ends, at the end of the third heaven, right? Verse 18, page 15. Arise, O my son, thou son of Jehovah. Instantly there arose from the millions of souls one universal shout, All hail, O son of Jehovah. And God rose up, having the crown on his head, and the people cheered him lustily, for he was well beloved. Etizai said, hold on, let me bring out something real quick. So before he became God, his rank was, it just said it. From the, hold on, back up here when Etizai, who she had her right hand lifted up, she said, In thy name, this thy son, God, I crown, from the Orion chief Harmuz, raised to the rank of God, and by thee, O Jehovah, ordained. So remember yesterday, I was talking about how the gods, towards the end of the video, the gods, although they're bringing up everybody in their under their rule, right, for like the 3,000 or however many years, that he brings them up to the level, I believe it's up to the level of the third heaven, right? But in order to be actually crowned God, you would have to have come out. You would have to have graduated into the Ethereal realms, right? So before he was crowned God, his rank was Orion Chief, right? So you have to at least from my understanding right now, you have to at least have the rank of Orion Chief. And we don't get a lot about Orion and Nirvana and all that stuff. Those are different levels, and I'm not even sure which order, right? You have to at least be an Orion Chief in order to be in the running to become the next god of whatever planet, right? What you say, she, bro? I don't know what y'all talking about. All right, look. Okay, so I just wanted to bring it out, right? He was Orion. He was an Orion Chief of Harmutz, because he came from Harmutz down to the red star, the new earth, right? And he was the first god of the earth. I'll read that again. In thy name, and this verse 16 on page 15. From the Orion Chief, Harmutz, raised to the rank of God, and by thee, O Jehovah, ordained, henceforth to be known forever in the emancipated heavens as thy son. Peace, wisdom, love, power. All right. And so let me just read. I just keep going from 17 and just keep going where I was at. But I wanted to bring that out because it just kind of like answered my question a little bit from what I was trying to explain. Not even realize I was going to read over this today because I completely forgot it was here. All right. I'm still trying to get my bearings on where to go to different places for stuff, right? So, yeah. So once we graduate from out of here, after we become brides and bridegrooms, that's the highest level from here, from the earth and heavens, being up there. And then when you go up there, you got the different ranks up there in whatever order. I'm not sure of. But remember, you got to at least make it to the rank of Orion Chief and spend some time there before you get the keys to mom and daddy house, right? You got to become a teenager. And we're going to leave you alone for a little while. We may even go out of town for a little bit. You have full authority to run a household. Let's see how you do, right? Some get the keys to the earth and be throwing all kinds of parts. Well, the ones that defect from Creator, right? But the ones that's in line, they're going to try and be responsible, right? They're going to be calling in and be like, listen, Mom, Dad, I'm following the rules that you set out, but Johnny is not listening. Like, he doing his own thing, and he just keep talking about, like, you ain't my mama, you ain't my dad, I ain't got to do nothing you say. Little sis is talking back. He gonna do everything within his power to rectify all this before they call in a favor. Right? That's what you're required to do. Let's see how well you can run this. Because after you run this here, you kind of get that on your resume. You was the God of earth. Oh my God. At what era? What era was you the God, right? Everybody sharing their stories. Boy, they gave me a run for my money. So now you up here probably in Nirvana or some rank up here or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. I have more stories later in life. All right, verse 17, page 15. And now with her left hand, she raised high the crown so that all might see and bear witness, and giving the sign again of Jehovah's name above the crown, wherefrom a flame of light shot forth brilliantly. Thereupon she placed the crown on God's head, saying, Arise, O my son, thou son of Jehovah. Instantly there arose from the millions of souls one universal shout, All hail, O son of Jehovah. And God rose up, having the crown on his head, and the people cheered him lustily, for he was well beloved. Etizai said, Bring forth thy 5 chief lords, that I may crown them also. God then caused the 5 chief lords whom he had selected to sit at the foot of the throne. Again, Etizai raised her right hand, saying, O Jehovah Almighty, from whom all glories emanate. In thy name, these thy sons I crown, lords of the earth, and of the waters of the earth. From the Orion Chief of Harmutz, by my commission do I raise them to the rank of lords, for kingdoms of heaven, peace, wisdom, love, power. And then Etizai took the crowns which were handed her by the other archangels, and placed them on the heads of the lords, saying, Arise, O my lords, and be ye lords of Jehovah for his glory, and be ye the lords of God, having dominion over the earth, and the waters of the earth in love, wisdom, and power. Amen. This kind of reminds me of what I read about in the Scenes Gospel of Peace, talking about the angel of the air, the angel of the water, the angel of the sun, right? And verse 23, the lords rose up, having on their heads the crown of lords, and again the multitude saluted with great cheering. When the applause ceased, Etesiai said, my God and my lords, give now the sign of Jehovah's name, that his glory may be fulfilled. For this was the oath of office. And after oath of office is reference to letter A. Let's go to the book, the end of the book of Sethantes, which is page 37. Move my bookmarks around. Page 37, and A says, the sign is the circle twice cut. For further information, see chapter Emethachava, Book of Safa, 1882 edition. We're not going to jump there, because that's a whole chapter. Hold on, let me see. We're literally going to have to read a whole chapter. And we have 46 minutes. Just to go, since it's our second time reading, I know it's not pretty long, but it's like it's literally a whole chapter. It's on page 554. I'm gonna give y'all the page number. Page 554, and it is, oh my gosh, this chapter is so good. It's 49, it's 49 verses. If we read this, we ain't gonna be able to read none of Oh, this was the one where it starts talking about being in tune with the Creator and connecting to the keynote. Oh my gosh. Let's read it. Listen, hold on. Man, we almost done. Man, if I read this, we're definitely not going to get to read. Let's take a vote. Y'all want to read Emethachava, or you want to read it on your own? First answer wins it. You want to go through with the reference? This is our second time through. You want to read the whole chapter of Emethachava, or just keep going with this chapter so we can get into the Field Spirit Guide? Read it. Vanette, okay. Everybody go to page 554. Emethachava. So let me read the reference again, what it said. Okay. All right. And we was at, let me highlight. Hold on. I gotta highlight my spot. Here. Okay. Reference. Okay. All right. So let me read the verse again on page 15. It's verse 24 in chapter 1 in the book of Sethantes. My God and my lords, give now the sign of Jehovah's name, that his glory may be fulfilled. For this was the oath of office, right? And it gives the reference letter A. And reference letter A says, the sign is the circle twice cut. For further information, see chapter Emethachava, Book of Safa, 1882 edition. That is found on page 554. So everybody go to page 554. Emethachava, right? And also with Emethachava, there's another reference. So now that we went to this reference, we have to go to this reference, right? We got to get the full understanding. This is normally what I do when I'm doing research. I follow all the footnotes. I always follow all the footnotes, which is why I'm doing it while we're here, right? I gave y'all a choice this time. So let's go to the end of the book of Sapphire and find S, right? That is on page 5. I knew it. It's on page 572. S on page 572 says Emethachava. See book of the Ark of Bond, chapter 20, verse 12. Right? I remember doing this the first time. Let me do this here. Leave my spot. Put another mark here. And we got to go to the book of Ark of Bond, chapter 20, verse 12. Okay. Where's our book of Ark of Bond? Yes, we want to, absolutely, Shebrew. We do absolutely want to follow the footnotes. We absolutely do. That's something I learned. That's something my mama taught me. When I used to, use the Thompson Chain Bible. She said, always follow the footnotes because it fills in the story for you and you get the missing pieces, right? And it just kind of expounds on that one verse, right? You have maybe not the full, but a fuller understanding so you can keep it in its proper context. Okay. What was it? What book? Ark of Bond. Okay. Ark of Bond is page 388. Page 388. Okay, and we'll go to chapter 20 or chapter XX. Ark of Bond is the book that's on the lower half of the book. So go to chapter 20, which is in Roman numerals XX. Okay, it's on page 441. Okay, what verse? Verse 12. Page 442. Okay. Verse 12 says, and when it was night, Moses and the rabbis and the heads went away aside, placing sentinels that they might be alone. Or sentinels are like watches. If you're in the military, they're watches. You stand guard. It's guards. Stand guard, right? And when it was night, Moses and the rabbis and the heads went away aside, placing sentinels that they might be alone. And when they were thus prepared, the light of Jehovah came upon Moses, and the books of the ancients were opened before him. And he administered Emethachava upon them. By the voice of Jehovah, he reestablished it with all the rites and ceremonies as they are to this day. And after that, the heads were no longer called heads, but chief rabbis, for Moses anointed them by command of Jehovah. He anointed them. Okay, so also real quick, let me check the glossary. Emethachava. I don't remember if it was Iwata. No, Emethachava. Okay. All right, so let's go back to Emethachava, the page 554, right? It's in Book of Safa. The subtitle under Emethachava is Brotherhood of Faithists with Modern Gods Substituted in Place of the Ancients. These that follow, being the first three rites of Emethachava, is to say, Mikgitau said, a baker came to sell me bread. I said, sell thy bread to my wife. She and I are one. The baker said, the two are one? This was the beginning of wisdom. I went into a field and heard the birds singing. The unknown said, the twain are one. I said, couldst thou, O Father, make all men as one? There would be peace and joy, no war. The unknown said, make thou the family of the ancients. Husband and wife shall be the key. Husband and wife and children shall be thy model. I said, I cannot make all men think alike, act alike, do alike. A vision came upon me. I saw a score of musicians, and everyone had a different instrument, and they set about tuning their instruments, every one his own way, saying, we have our instruments tuned I'm gonna just read verse 9 over again. A vision came upon me. I saw a score of musicians, and everyone had a different instrument, and they set about tuning their instruments, every one his own way, saying, save we have our instrument tuned as one instrument, there can be no music. Tune, therefore, thine instrument to mine. Remember when we read this, we were in Florida at Disney. Man, listen, that was when did we go? It doesn't matter. But we were in Disney when we was reading over this particular chapter. Say we have our instruments tuned as one instrument, there can be no music. Tune, therefore, thine instrument to mine. After a long while, they wearied, for they were no nearer than at first. And everyone said, it is impossible to attune them. It is useless trying more. The unknown spake out of the firmament, saying, choose ye one instrument first, and then attune another to it. This accomplished, attune then a third instrument to them, after that a fourth, and so on, and ye shall all be tuned alike. Thereupon the musicians set to work, but could not agree whose should be the first instrument. A pillar of fire descended from heaven and stood in the midst of the musicians, and in the center of the pillar of fire appeared an instrument called the All-Perfect. Yes. Yes, Tootie. We'll be ending it in a few minutes, too. A pillar of fire descended from heaven and stood in the midst of the musicians, and in the center of the pillar of fire there appeared an instrument called the All-Perfect. The instrument gave forth one note, and all the musicians attuned to it. The voice, remember the all-person, the voice of the unknown, that is talking about Creator, or also called here Jehovah, right? The instrument gave forth one note, and all the musicians attuned to it. The voice said, I have given the keynote, find ye the rest. The pillar of fire departed. The instruments thus attuned in harmony played rapturously. The vision then departed. This I perceive, to make the man and wife one, to make the man, wife, and children one, to make the village one, to make the state one, to make the empire one, all in harmony as one instrument, cannot be done without a central sun, a creator to attune to. When a man is attuned to him and a woman attuned to him, they will themselves be as one. When the family and the village are attuned to him, it is easy. Without him, harmony cannot be. Right? So like we learned, and if this had been taught like this when we was reading about the husband and the wife and the husband being the head, we wouldn't have all this chopped and screwed theory on who should lead and who should not lead, right? There definitely should be a leader for organization's sake, right? The Creator gives the keynote. Tune the man, the husband, to the Creator. When the husband is tuned to the Creator, we ain't telling you to go follow somebody that ain't tuned to the Creator, right? Because the music y'all playing is going to be a bunch of garbage, right? So the keynote is Creator. Husbands attuned to the Creator, right? And then now that the man is attuned to the Creator, you take the wife and you attune her to the husband, because the husband is already tuned to the Creator. Right? And now that the husband and wife is tuned to the Creator in this order, now we can now attune the children. The wife begins to attune the children to her because she's attuned to her husband, and her husband is attuned to the Creator. Now we're flowing as one. We have a household in sync. Not everybody just trying to do their own thing, right? That's like one of my previous pastors said, something with more than two heads is a freak show. I agree with that. We can look at some households and see that, right? You got nothing but freak show. Your last name shouldn't be whatever it is. Your last name should be freak show. You and all your children. Listen. And so when the family is in tune with the Creator, what else can we attune? Why we got a whole freak show of society? Because we got a bunch of freak shows, a bunch of miniature freak shows going on in all this community. The whole city should be named Freak Show, Virginia. Right? Because everybody's out of tune. Because it starts at home. While you're trying to go build churches and stuff, your home is out of order. Right? That's why people who are building churches, the pastor's kids get all out of whack, because the pastor trying to tune everybody else, and he ain't even attuned the main characters that's supposed to be the vision. That's supposed to be the model. The Creator said the family is the model. The husband and the wife. Tune the man to me. Then tune the woman to him, because he's already attuned to me. Then tune the children to her, because she's tuned to her husband, who's tuned to me. Go ahead, son. You got my oldest son with 3 kids is like,
man.
Yeah, I'm just going through. You just happened to walk in the kitchen when I was saying this.
No, this is
Okay. So when the family is attuned to the keynote, which is creator, now when they go out into the neighborhoods, now we can begin to attune the village, the community, to the families who are attuned to the creator, and our communities become better. And once we have communities that are attuned and in line with the keynote, with creator, now we can affect our state. Now we can affect our country. Now we can affect the world. And voila, we have shalom all over the world. Like it's literally a country, a continent, a city of peace. Everybody's tuned to the creator. Not doing what the pastors be doing. We're going to start shalom or start my church, but your whole house is a mess. Your wife is, she out of order. Your children is out of order. 14 of them, you got 14 kids and all 14 of them, they doing something crazy. You got 2 in jail. We got a thief over here. Listen, we went to the store yesterday, me and my husband. Oh my gosh, I wish he was down here. Listen, we went to the store yesterday. We was outside doing some gardening, right? So we ran out of some stuff. We ran to the store. We went to Lowe's and we went to Home Depot. Then we decided, let's see if they got these curtain rods we've been looking for. So we went to... We was at Ross, right? Looking at their curtain rods. So we over there, we picked up a couple things, and we walking through. So when you go check out, Ross always have like little knickknacks and stuff you can pick up. But anyway, they got like this cologne case with stuff, with good cologne that's locked up. So we was over there, my husband was looking at a couple different things, right? And so this was this one particular cologne that he was looking at. But another gentleman had walked over there and he picked it up first. My husband's like, I know I should have just picked it up, right? And so the other guy came over there and he picked it up and he was looking at it. And so my husband, he was like, well, let me check out these other ones. And so he asked the dude, because dude was over there lingering around. And so he was holding on to the cologne that my husband wanted, but he just didn't pick up. And the guy came over there and picked it up. And so my husband just asked him, because dude was over there like 5 minutes and doing a little small talk. My husband waiting for him to put the cologne down, And finally he just asked him, he said, hey, boss, you gonna buy that cologne? He said, I'm gonna just be honest with you, because if you're not, I'm about to buy it. He said, oh, no, man, I'm gonna get this. And then when he said that, his daughter walked over and said, hey, Dad, Mom wants you. He said, okay, baby. And so he had another one in his hand. He set that one down, but took the one that my husband wanted. And my husband's like, well, I just get it from something else because it was the last one. Dude walks away with his daughter over there with his wife, right? So after that, my husband like, man, let's go. So we went to go check out, right? And listen, this is what you get when you don't have husbands. This story has a point, right? About the keynote. Remember this guy that got this cologne. He in the store, not by himself, because his daughter came over there like, hey, Dad, Mom said, come in. So you in the store with your wife, and I don't know how many children you got, but you at least have a daughter, right? She said, Dad, Mom said, come here for a second. Okay, baby. And he walks over. Me and my husband checking out, right? So we went there for a curtain rod. We got a whole basket full of stuff, right? And so we checking out, right? And Ross, Ross got those baskets with the big pole on it where you can't push it outside the store, right? And we had a couple of heavy things as well. So once we got about halfway done ringing up stuff, my husband said, babe, I'm going to go pull up the truck. So he went to go pull up the truck, right? Then I'm going to just push the little cart with the long pole to the door, and I'm going to just kind of hand stuff to my husband while he running to the truck. So we check, right when we checking out, right? We hear, how when you walk out of a store and it still got like the device on stuff and it sends off the alarm. That happened right when my husband was about to go get the truck. And so the lady that was checking us out, she looked and she said, yeah, that's some perfume or cologne, right? And so she picked up the phone and she said something that's not thinking about nothing, right? So it was like, and we didn't even look up to see who had just walked out of the store. And so I'm steady putting stuff up there. She said, yes, out into the parking lot. Yes, it was cologne or perfume. It was something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, she's sharp. She know when the buzzer go off and somebody's stealing something, exactly what type of item it is. I don't know. I don't work in retail, so maybe I don't know. She picked that up, or maybe she had been watching somebody, right? And so I'm still putting stuff up there. And my husband, after this, he walks out to go get the truck, and he pull up. And so we doing all this, and I see a person come from the back, and my husband had pulled out. I said, thank you very much, and, doing all this. And so we get in there, and my husband looking back like this. I'm like, because I'm going to go get the rest of the stuff. And so he taking the stuff to the truck, and we're going back. And he just like shaking his head. And so I pushed the basket back in and I get in the truck, right? And he said, and he stopped and he looked like this. And I said, why do you keep looking back? What are you looking at? He said, hey man, he said, remember that dude in the store? He said that got that cologne that I wanted. I said, yeah. He said, I think that nigga stole the cologne. That's what my husband said. I said, for real, babe? He said, I think so. But then it dawned on me. He said, no, he said, let me tell you. He said, why I think so. He said, when I walked out right before you came out, he said, the dude said he screamed, like, because he was parked, like, we was up in front of the store now, and he was like halfway in like the middle part of the parking lot. And my husband said he walked out. He said, hey, man, hey. And he said, first he ignored the voice. He said, hey, man. And my husband looked back. He said, did you get it? You know, he realized it was the little cologne guy. And he said, nah, man, I ain't get it. You know, he was like, okay. And so he said he thought that was kind of odd. He said, did you get it? And my husband thought, man, you had the cologne. And he thinking, did you go put it back? And then I was like, babe, let me tell you what just happened when you went out. I said, I think you're right. I think dude stole the cologne. I said, first of all, you in the store with your wife and your daughter. I said, are all of them thieves? I said, and why is you still sitting in the parking lot? I said, was he hollering it out, trying to get you in trouble like we thieves? And I know we just spent like $400 up here. And that's an exaggeration. I said, we paid for our stuff. I hope he ain't trying to do that, like call you out, like to throw the dogs off of him to come look at us like we thieves. I was like, cause hold on, you need to slow down so we can have them check our car and stuff, let them know we don't steal nothing.
That's not an exaggeration, y'all. 9 times out of 10, they really went and Ross to buy curtains, and they spent $400. That's not an exaggeration.
Listen, we ain't spend them. It was like literally like half of that. But I'm just like, I could not believe this. Listen, he wasn't a teenager. This man looked older than us. Dude was probably in his 50s or 60s. In Ross, stealing cologne. Like, you weren't like stealing food to feed your hungry family. Who steals cologne? We in 20, you 60 years old.
Yeah, you could have won the Dollar Tree and stole some.
Like, if you needed it that bad, like, Shebrew, it's a family of thieves. And y'all is bold, too, because you stole, you heard the alarm go off when you went out, and you still sitting in the parking lot? Like, who does that? And you probably got the hot cologne on you anyway. I wouldn't wear it. My husband, like, he probably ain't gonna wear it. He can probably try and pawn it and sell it. He probably ain't gonna get but $5 for it. I said, this is what is the world coming to? I said, and look, not that color has to do anything with it. I said, why they always gotta be black? We already get a bad name about stuff. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was so pissed that they hollered my husband's name. Like, we was a part of his thievery. And I'm just like, this is, y'all can still tell, it's still burning me up just a little bit. Because we are not thieves. Like earlier that day, when we went to Home Depot to get some stuff for the yard, my husband had picked up some gloves. Because I got gardening gloves. And he was helping me dig out some of the flower beds. And we had to rip up this plant that we named Bruno, right? Well, Isaiah named Bruno. Because it hasn't done any kind of blossoming and stuff. He was like, well, goodbye naked Bruno. I said, because we done gave you all summer. You ain't bearing no fruit, not one leaf on you. You got to go. We ain't giving you one. Look, we just moved here. We just gave you the summer to bear something. Like, you ain't got not one leaf on you, right? So we got gloves. But what happened, I also got some huge flower pots too. And the gloves were at the bottom of the basket. The girl came through, she rung everything up, and we got out to the truck, and we was offloading the mulch and the flower pots in there. We forgot the gloves were at the bottom of the pot. And my husband said, babe, did she ring up the gloves? I said, yeah, I think she did. I was like, wait, hold on. He said, yeah, check that receipt. He said, because we don't want our blessing stopping because we done stole something. Literally, just that day before we had went to Ross, this happened. And I looked, I said, hold on, let me see. And I went through the receipt. I went through our receipt. I was like, nope. The glove's not up here. I'll be right back. Let me see them. And so I took them. I went in there, stood in line. There was like 5 people in front of me. I waited patiently because I realized when you thieve stuff, when you steal, you bring a curse into your house. I patiently waited. I said, excuse me. I said, And what happened, because the pot was so big, it filled up the basket. It didn't look like anything could be under it. And so she didn't move it. She just scanned the barcode because it was on the side of the pot. I said, this was under the pot. We didn't ring this up. I went through the receipt. Can you please ring this up? She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, we shouldn't have said it there because we completely forgot that they were there until we were unloading the cart into the truck. She said, okay, and paid for them, right? We had literally just did that. You think we trying to get caught up by some shenanigans and the dude still, like I said, he ain't even stealing food to feed his hungry stomach. He's stealing cologne. I'm just like.
That's a stinking nigga.
Y'all hear my son in the background? I ain't gonna repeat what he said. Listen, hold on. Oh my gosh, it's 7:29. Guys, listen, hold on. I'm gonna have to, let me finish reading this Emethachava. And then I'm going to have to go. I didn't realize I was going to be telling this story, but listen, look, I'm just like, man, y'all got to do better. Y'all already know we trying to get over these little stereotypical things, right? We work hard to be where we at and look like we normal people and stuff. We pay for everything that we want. We don't need to steal nothing. Like, dude could have asked us. He could have been like, man, I want to take my wife on a nice date. She over there got my daughter, but I ain't really got enough for real to buy this. You mind, brother? I mean, he could have asked. My husband would have probably did it. He probably would have bought it. But dude, you gonna steal it, and then you gonna call me out like I'm a part of this whole coup? You and your whole thieving family, you, your wife, and your daughter, right? Do y'all understand what Emethachava is? Apparently not. But they in tune with their father, the devil. Look, and the devil, clearly we know Satan is the flesh. They succumb to their lower nature, right? Let me finish reading that so we can get out of here. Listen. Verse 16, page 554. This I perceive, to make the man and wife one, to make the man, wife, and children one, to make the village one, to make the state one, to make the empire one, all in harmony as one instrument, cannot be done without a central sun, a creator to attune to. When a man is attuned to him and a woman attuned to him, they will themselves be as one. When the family and the village are attuned to him, it is easy. Without him who, our creator, without a him to attune to, without attuning to our creator, harmony cannot be. Without him, harmony cannot be. He, the creator, then, must be first in all things, first in all places. He must be the nearest of all things, nearest of all places. In our rites and ceremonies, he must be the all ideal perfection, the embodiment of a perfect person. End prelude. Guys, I gotta, let me see. Hold on. Cause I gotta, let me see. Let me just keep going. I probably got like 5 minutes and I'm literally gonna have to run out the door. Okay. End prelude. Then it goes into, it says T, and T is, it's like an initial T, and I forgot what T is at this moment. T, goeth to the altar and lighteth the incense, and the priests come and stand beside the altar, they and the initiates with them, saying, emblem of worlds, moldering into dust, and of the harvest of souls, ascending to the Ethereal realms above, emblem of mine own mortal dissolution, and of the ascent of my soul, but whither, O Jehovah? In thee, Jehovah, will I have faith, in thee only. Emeth is faith, Emethachava, right? Emeth is faith. Moses imparted faith to the heads who were with them, right? And all the wisdom or things that people put written in scripture, the living word literally was, it rose up from the depths of their shanana, right? All of that. Hold on. Emblem of words, moldering into dust, and of the harvest of souls, ascending to the Ethereal realms above. Emblem of my own mortal dissolution, and of the ascent of my soul, but whither, O Jehovah? Verse 19, page 555. In thee, Jehovah, will I have faith, in thee only. Emeth, faith, shall be my name, the foundation of my soul. So Emeth shall be the foundation of my soul, or faith shall be the foundation of my soul. Henceforth, I will eschew fame and the applause of men. My hands will I fold against earthly fame, and in thy name prepare my soul for heaven. And it has in brackets that the signs that they gave, signs withheld from publication. Verse 21, East. Over all the earth gave I dominion into man's hands, but I rule over man both on earth and in heaven, saith Jehovah. I fashioned the earth and breathed upon it, and man came forth a living soul. The veins in his body I made, and I made him conscious that he is. I speak into his ear, and hold up mine hand before him, that he may not err, but rejoice that he liveth, and that he may glorify me and my works. But he turned aside and boasted, there is none greater than man. P and I, or I believe it was P is for priest and I is the initiate. P and I, O Jehovah, mighty in heaven, hallowed be thy name. May I never forget thee, nor set myself up against thee, nor thy kingdoms. One bell. Ding. E, which stands for east. Who are these that call on Jehovah's name? P, wanderers on the earth who are unappeased with corporal things. From corporal to S we turn in Jehovah's name. E, for what purpose are ye in this holy chamber? I, to be initiated into the light and dominions of heaven. E, have ye prepared for this? I, which is initiates, yea. E, how have ye been prepared? I, we abstain from flesh food, from strong drink, and endeavor to purify our corporal bodies. E, man may be pure in the corporal body, but unprepared to receive the wisdom of high heaven. How else have ye prepared? Like, what else have you done besides abstaining from meat, abstaining from, or taking the Nazarite vow, abstaining from meat, abstaining from strong drink, all those things, anything that would defile your body? How else have you prepared? Like, how have you prepared your spirit specifically? Man may be pure in the corporal body, but unprepared to receive the wisdom of high heaven. How else have ye been prepared? We have witnessed the spirits of the dead who have returned to the earth, reclothed in corporal appearances. We have talked with them in the presence of witnesses. E, my friends, since ye live on the earth and can commune with the spirits of heaven, why are ye still unappeased? The people of the earth lust after the things of the earth and deceive us on all occasions. The spirits who manifest are of little wisdom. They know but little of heaven, right? So a lot of times when they manifest themselves, what we learn is if they can't give you any more wisdom than what you can extract from here while you're on earth, you can tell that the spirits that are talking to you are from the first heaven, right? I ain't gonna say they dumb, but they ain't gonna give you nothing that you can't figure out on your own while you still have your fleshly body, right? And all the wisdom that they give you is completely to appease yourself and not to help anybody else. And if you're helping anybody else, it's to help them so that you can ultimately help yourself, right? But in a selfish way, right? Those who get wisdom from the second heaven and above is helping others without any regard to if anything comes back to you or not. I'm doing this regardless if you do anything for me. I'm not even looking for any kind of reward. My goal is to help you become better, help you raise up. Just like we help children. Children can't do nothing for us in return, right? We teach them selfless to make sure that they become better when they go out there, right? It's that mindset. Verse 33. My friends, since ye live on the earth and can commune with the spirits of heaven, why are ye still unappeased? The people of the earth lust after the things of the earth and deceive us on all occasions. The spirits who manifest are of little wisdom. They know but little of heaven. E, since your faith in mortals is nothing, and your faith in spirits from heaven little more, how hope ye to gain wisdom and truth by calling on the name Jehovah? We know there are angels in heaven who have risen above the bondage of the earth. We aim to purify ourselves that such may come to us and give us light. By attuning ourselves to Jehovah, we have faith that he will provide us according to our talents, which we have received from his hand. E, have ye not called for the spirits of the well-known? I, alas, we find that spirits can assume any name and form, and so deceive us. We have no faith in names. They are as the wind. Some spirits have kingdoms in the lower heavens, and they seek to win subjects for themselves in the time to come. E, how hope ye to distinguish free spirits from the bound? I, spirits who talk of their own earthly lives and of earthly things are familiar spirits who abide with mortals. There are spirits above them who can come and teach us of things in heaven. By serving Jehovah, we hope to adapt ourselves to their presence. E, have not Osiris and Baal and Dagon and Ashtaroth appeared in many places? And after that is reference letter T. So let's hop there real quick. Y'all, we almost done for real. Let me see. T. Okay, so T is on page 572. And it says, the chief saviors and gods of the Hayartan cycle, corresponding to Brahma, Buddha, Christ, and Muhammad of this cycle, were Yima, Mithra, Inyot, and Habak the first. The four greatest powers, represented by the four greatest religions, are at all times the four corner posts in the lodge of Faiths. In the different countries, the lodges assumed that the gods of their own locality were the chief enemies of the Great Spirit and named them in the ceremonies. Hence today, the chief enemies of the Great Spirit, remember, is another name for our Creator, Jehovah. Those from Gautama or America refer to the Creator as the Great Spirit, right? Hence today, the chief enemies of the Great Spirit are the religions and powers who assume to elevate other names to be the Great Spirit or co-equal with him. In all ages, it seems, the world at large would have an idol. This they elevate above the Great Spirit by fabulous inventions and professions, while the faithist in the one over all has been the subject of persecution. 1882 edition. Okay, so let's go back here to page 556. Verse 41. E, have not Osiris and Baal and Dagon and Ashtaroth appeared in many places? I, it is so said, but they have shown no wisdom, nor have they come but through deceivers and persons who lust after earthly things. E, save ye become workers for Jehovah by lifting up your fellow men, how hope ye for good angels to come and lift you up? I, what shall we do? Give us light. E, make ye a covenant with Jehovah, that your pledges may be recorded in high heaven. Consider your words, for Jehovah is ever present and heareth all done in his name. He hears everything done in his name. You take the Nazarite vow, that's being recorded. Don't like I'm taking Nazarite vow and then don't think about it no more. You still going on eating meat and doing house and never everything you want to do. That's recorded. And when you walking with your vow to go see your Ashar, oh, you took the Nazarite vow. Oh my gosh, we got another one. Let's see, what did you do? What vow was you following? That's how I'm going to be when I'm a Ashar. I'm going to still be cracking jokes. Like, bro, let's see what you did. You know, I've been waiting for you to get up here. Oh, nope. Explain this one to me. You did what? You, come on now. For real? That's going to be... Listen. Verse 45. E, make ye a covenant with Jehovah, that your pledges may be recorded in high heaven. Consider your words, for Jehovah is ever present and heareth all done in his name. Angels are also present, who have no interest in the affairs of men, save for the redemption of their souls. That which ye swear shall ye do from this time forth forever. P and I. This then be my covenant. I will serve thee, O Jehovah, and no other God, nor Lord, nor any other person born of woman, who professeth to save the souls of men. Nor will I pray to them, nor adore them. For by their names have the nations of the earth been accursed with war and destruction. But to thee only, O Jehovah, will I pay homage and adoration now and forever. For thee will I labor by doing righteously toward all men, and equally with all of these my brethren, the Emeth, the Faithists, in one everlasting Father, creator of worlds. With all my light and my wisdom and love will I strive to enlighten my fellow men and lift them up out of darkness. More shall my labor be for others than for myself henceforth forever. And my substance shall be given to relieve the helpless and distressed. Help me, O Jehovah, and make me strong in this my covenant now and forever. Amen. This is the dawn. Behold, the rising sun. And the salutation is also withheld from the publication. Last two verses. Ye are now on the road of everlasting light. Swerve not from your covenant with Jehovah, and the spirits from the second heaven will abide with you. He who taught you before will invest in you with, etc. And what he will invest you with is withheld from publication. And then this is why we got to get the John Land plates. Listen, I'm working on it, y'all. About to send this in, making sure my order form is correct with all the stuff, right? So I'll be sending that off latest tomorrow. So if they send us everything, she said it'll take about a week to get everything printed out, and then they'll be shipping it. So once we get it, if we see that, if we feel like something is missing, we may go ahead and take that trip. But for now, we're foregoing the trip because Elizabeth was working with me, and she said we can get all of this reproduced for you, and we'll mail it to you, right? Listen. Ye are now on the road of everlasting light. Swerve not from your covenant with Jehovah, and the spirits from the second heaven, excuse me, and the spirits from the second heaven will abide with you. He who taught you before will invest you with, etc., withheld from publication. In the name of Eolin, right, which is another name for the creator, Eolin, also Eloah, right? We're going to get into all of that. In the name of Eolin, and by his power and wisdom vested in me, do I receive thee as my brother or sister, as the case may be, of the ancient order of dawn of the brotherhood of Emeth, or faith, right? And I salute thee with the rod, etc. And it says that is also withheld from publication. And one more footnote after withheld from publication is you. And you says, it will be, and this on page 572, it will be seen that the order of dawn exacted vegetarian diet, the influence of which extends to a large portion of the Chinese and East Indian empires to this day. Nor could a person take this degree until familiar with ordinary spirit manifestations, even to having seen the spirits of the dead who had returned to the earth and taken on the appearance of mortal forms and conversed with them face to face in the presence of witnesses. This knowledge of preparing the body and mind for even the first degree of dawn was known long ago as 8,900 years, the Zarathustrian period, right? Which we're going to get into when we start talking about Zarathustra. Like, we're just coming back into the knowledge of things that have been hidden and washed away and forgotten over a millennia, right? And so we can begin operating in this again. Much of the ceremony still exists in the secret code of the Brahmin priesthood. This corresponds to the Hierarchian cycle and the gods and warriors of that day, 1882 edition. All right. And so that is it. This is where we absolutely have to pause today. Y'all, I literally have to run out the door. Bella! Come on, girl. Okay, let me put my page. I might have to do this when I get back, because I got to find my page. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out. I'm glad we read through it again. We didn't even finish this first chapter, so we're going to have to come back here and put start here at verse 25. Start here. Actually, I'll probably go back up. Matter of fact, I might just even start the whole chapter over again tomorrow, just so we can keep it all together. All right, y'all. So with that being said, y'all, it is Monday, November the 7th, 2022, day 257 of year 4 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets, and of the 4-year consecutive day count, day 1,276. We read the book of the rest of the book of Jehovah, and we started in the book of Sethantes. We started on page 12 and verse 15, and we did not get to the field guide of the spirit, the field guide to the spirit world today. Hopefully we'll get back to that tomorrow, but I hope y'all enjoyed the footnote journey that we took in my story. Oh my gosh, I got stories for days, and every day new stories are being added to my bag of stories. It makes the reading so fun to share some of that stuff with y'all. But anyway, y'all, I love y'all. I didn't get a chance to read all y'all comments. This Shine Shalom sis, look like you've been here for a while. Oh my gosh, I didn't look up. Okay. And everybody else that came in. Love y'all. Love you, love you, love it. I'll go back and I'm going to read through these later, but I got to get on the road, y'all. I love y'all. I see y'all back here tomorrow, bright and early, 6:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace. All right, come on, Tootie. Let's go. I'll be up here. Bye, y'all. Go ahead and end it. Oh, gosh, Papa. Go ahead. Her bonnet thing. Oh, give me that. Okay. There you go. All right, girl, go ahead. I got this. Don't worry about this. Just end the video, girl. End the video.